First of all, congratulations. Welcome to Toledo. And I got to ask you off the bat, what drew you to this job?
Well, the business side of things. Getting to know Joe a little bit, hearing from the Detroit Red Wings. First of all, their business is in order. The way they draw fans, their vision of what this can be, and then the high care level of the Detroit Red Wings and their vision of where this could be. When you put it all together, it's the perfect fit. My wife's from Cleveland. There's no doubt there's a little of that part of me that wants to get home close to Grandma and Grandpa, not too close, as I'm sure you can appreciate. But everything just pointed for this to be the right. And this, I think you have to appreciate how deliberate and long of a process this was. And as they were weeding through their candidates, I kept judging it on what it could be, and I got so excited about it. When they turned to me and said, "Hey, this is your job," I couldn't have been happier.
Take us through the process a little bit. When did you apply for the job? When did they approach you?
No, it started with a phone call from Ryan Martin with the Detroit Red Wings, and he came in, and again, it gave us an opportunity. You know, he wanted to talk to me and sell me on what Toledo was going to be and what Toledo was. And the first thing, he raved on the business side of things and what they've done here and how important it was for Detroit and Grand Rapids. Then the very next morning, Nick reached out to me. And again, a very good conversation with Nick. And Nick was an interesting dynamic because he's been Toledo hockey for so long, a legendary hockey player, and then running this, as a coach. And then what he had a vision of it on the managerial side of it, I got very excited. That led to a phone interview. It led to an in-person interview. It led to a couple more phone calls after that. Again, a very deliberate and thorough process. And just, again, it assured me of how important this was for them, and it became important for me and my family.
There's a rich hockey history in this city, in this area. What did you know about Toledo's hockey before the process happened, and what did you learn as the process continued?
A lot, and obviously you know Toledo hockey and the long history they've had here at the pro level. And this day and age of the internet and Google, and all you do is Google Toledo hockey, and you get an appreciation of what it's about. And there's a huge responsibility with that, and I understand that. These fans, we owe it to them, and that's going to be a message to our guys throughout. And again, I mentioned it in the press conference. You deal with such roster turnover here. You deal with so many guys on the way up. You deal with so many guys on the way down, and having to motivate them the night you get them. And we want to build a culture here that it's a responsibility every time you put that jersey on for the fan base, for the history, to do the best you can for the Toledo Walleye.
You come from junior hockey, your previous job in Green Bay. Obviously, a goal there is development of the players. You want to win, of course. How does that translate to this level, to ECHL hockey?
Well, I've lived my entire coaching career with that balance between development and winning. In college, kids go there to develop. A lot of NHL draft picks, they want to move up in their career. You feel some responsibility to those drafted teams. They're constant player personnel guys all around all the time. At the junior level, it's the ultimate development. Kids are going there. I've dealt with first-round draft picks a couple years, and we have the same challenges. These are kids going on to Ivy schools, top hockey schools, high draft picks. Their career set for them. This is just one stop in their journey. So you have to get that balance of development, giving them what they want. Communication is very huge. But again, it still comes back to winning. And I think winning is development and learning how to win, a culture of winning. Everyone loves a winner. And people at every level you move on. When we went to our draft in the United States Hockey League, we talk about winners. When free agency starts right now, we're going to look for people that have won at different organizations, whether in the CHL, Canadian University, or obviously college hockey.
Avid hockey fans in this area, they're going to want to know what style they're going to see. So come October, first game here, what will they see on the ice?
You're going to see fast hockey. You're going to see, I love transition hockey. Even in my style of play at Fair State, style of play at Denver, we scored a lot of goals, but we played responsible hockey. I brought that to Green Bay. We had an identity at Green Bay. We played fast, we played hard, and we stuck up for each other. I think that's a big part. I think this day and age of hockey, the 5-on-5 fights, the goalie fights, the theatrics, those are long and gone. But sticking up for your teammates, playing hard, doing things to motivate your teams in a hard way is going to be the identity of who we are.
You mentioned a previous job, an assistant at Fair State, not too far away. former conference rivals with Bowling Green. So you've been in this area, you've seen hockey in this area down at the ice arena in Bowling Green, and you've made some friendships.
Great appreciation. Excited about me, obviously about Toledo, but the hockey community around here. Chris Bergeron is a very good friend of mine. Competing against him back when he coached at Miami, I was at Fair State in Denver. I like what he's about, and he's done a great job at Bowling Green. Ron Fogarty has done a heck of a job, and all they do is win. Up in Adrian. I feel he's part of this community. A good friend of mine competed against him. Those things excite me. People care about their hockey around here, and the Toledo Walleye are a big part of it.
It's probably a little too early to ask this question. The free agency doesn't start until later this month, but goals for year one?
Well, and I know this sounds like a cliche, and you being a sports guy, you probably get very frustrated with coach cliches and coach talk, but our goal is to establish a culture of success here. And I really mean that, and Nick and I have talked about it. When you establish that culture, when you come to Toledo, you have a responsibility and you expect to win. That will lead to other goals. I think a legit black and white goal, and that's been hockey from day one, is to make the playoffs. And every year, it's the same goal I had every year at Green Bay, give ourselves a chance in the end. And we had a chance every year. We were fortunate enough to win it all in one year, and the other 2 years, we were right there. In my 3 years at Green Bay, only 3 teams made the playoffs every year, and we were one of those teams. So consistency of getting to the playoffs is something that we're going to seek. But I think a realistic goal in year one that's going to be in the back of my head that I'll rarely talk about with the team is making the playoffs. And again, it's the process. It's the everyday process. That'll take care of itself.